Currently, the largest lake on Earth is the Caspian Sea along the borders of Russia and Kazakhstan, a huge area that is about the same size as Ukraine. However, the fourth largest sea on Earth right now is Lake Huron along the Canadian-American border. But 100 years ago, even 50 years ago, this would have not been the case. Instead, it would have been the Aral Sea, which lies on the border between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. But this lake, the fourth largest lake on Earth, has been almost completely destroyed since the 1960s to what it is today, a shell of its former glory, which is causing loads of harm to the surrounding environment, which I'll talk about later on. But the Aral Sea used to exist in this large form, of course, the fourth largest lake on Earth between the Kazakhstan and Uzbekistani borders. But at that time, it didn't really matter because they were both part of the Russian Empire and then the Soviet Union. But the problem was in the 60s, the Soviet Union wanted to grow more cotton in the region. To do this, they built canals on the rivers that ran into the Aral Sea and helped kept it filled up, which caused water to be diverted elsewhere to their cotton farms, which weren't too effective, by the way, in the end, because these constantly leaked, these canals, leading to huge amounts of water just being entirely wasted. And also, because of this, the Aral Sea started evaporating. This is because more water was now being evaporated out of it than was flowing back into it, as of course the rivers had been diverted, stopping most of the water intake. Now, 3.5 million people lived around the Aral Sea, and it had huge fishing villages, which are now hundreds of miles away from the coastline, because this continued going on, these cotton farms, until the central area of the Aral Sea was completely gone as it is today, like in this photo from the 2020s. And there have been restoration efforts, such as in the north with Kazakhstan building a new dam, but Uzbekistan in the south hasn't done much, and because it straddles the border between these two nations, you have to get both of them to agree to make significant changes to help restore it. And huge amounts of things like fertilizers were dumped into the Aral Sea by the Soviet Union, and they accumulated at the bottom. That wasn't really a problem until the bottom became exposed as it evaporated away. And so all of these toxic chemicals are now being released in large storms, causing them to be blown across surrounding cities and damaging the local environment. A bit like the glowing sea in Fallout 4, although nowhere near as dangerous. And so that is how the Soviet Union killed the fourth largest lake on Earth.